Of all the DreamWorks movies, 11 of them have been sequels. So with the new Croods film out, we're going to rank all of the DreamWorks sequels from worst to best. So let's talk about them. Welcome back, everybody, to my channel. If you guys love to watch movies like I do, you guys are in the right spot. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and click that bell notification for more up and coming videos. The Croods A New Age is a sequel to the 2013 Croods film. You know, 2 times now for DreamWorks movies and a tier list. And I don't want to sit down and talk about DreamWorks movies again for you guys. So we're going to be doing a ranking of the sequels. So there's been plenty of sequels from Kung Fu Panda and Madagascar, Trolls, Croods, How to Train Your Dragon, Shrek. So we're going to talk about all of the sequels within this video. So make sure to leave your list down below. How would you rank all of the 11 sequels, including the newest one, Croods 2? So coming in last place is Shrek 3. I have a hard time enjoying Shrek the Third. I think it is a film that has lost the charm from the second and first film. The characters kind of still feel the same, but the storyline is one that feels like it's a bit of a stretch. Something I didn't really feel connected to when I watched the first one and the second one. That felt like a more personal story for Shrek. And here it just feels like a lame attempt at a story. The jokes really do not work. I remember getting it for Christmas when it was released on DVD. And I thought, this is such a bummer. I really did not like this movie compared to those first 2 Shrek films, because those are really good ones. And you're going to see them on this ranking video higher on the list. But Shrek the Third, I think that the jokes did not work. There's no charm to the story, no charm to the characters. It just feels like everything is so forced and it's trying to have a good time, but it's coming off pretty bad. Coming in at number 10 is Trolls 2 World Tour. I think that this is a pretty decent Trolls film. I think it has a pretty strong story. I really thought that Branch and Poppy, their relationship was not visited much within this movie. I thought after watching the first film, they would explore it a lot more in the second film, but they took it in a different route and they didn't really have much of Branch within the movie. Instead, we got this villain who wanted to take over all of the music with rock music, and so we did get a lot of exploration of different trolls in different music genres, which I thought was pretty cool. But a lot of it just felt very brief because we were going from different music genre back and forth. And the biggest ones are like pop and rock music and the comparisons between the characters and the music itself. But you got like K-pop and country and hip-hop and classical. They're very brief moments. And I like some of the look of the trolls. I wish we would have seen a little more of that. I did enjoy the story in here and how music kind of brings everybody together. I thought it was a stronger part of the movie. Coming in at number 9 is Shrek 4. Shrek 4 is kind of how I feel about Shrek 3. I enjoy it just a little more. When Shrek wants his old life back and things change and we have Rumpelstiltskin, it reminds him why he loves his family and he wants to be part of that. And I thought those moments were touching for the character. Some of the different versions that we do get for some of the characters like Puss in Boots and Donkey and Shrek and Fiona I thought were pretty fun. It's got more lighthearted moments and some more jokes compared to the third film, and I did enjoy the story. And I think after watching it multiple times since its release, I do appreciate it just a little more. But still, the charm and the jokes aren't as smart or as clever as the first 2 films. Coming in at number 8 is Croods 2. Croods A New Age was a pleasant surprise. I thought the first Croods was very chaotic and kind of just all over the place. The second one had a much tighter script and allowed for a lot more character development. We got them all kind of separated, but we got to know them all individually, and we had the new family, the Bettermans, in here who are way more advanced than the Croods. And so it's kind of fun to watch them kind of compare their lifestyles and how the Croods and how the Bettermans can adapt and have like a toilet and a TV and a dishwasher and all of that. But I like when they all kind of work together. There is some conflict amongst each other, but I thought the visuals were really fun. The jokes worked. And the bigger plot reveals towards the end of the movie definitely did work. And overall, it was a satisfying sequel. I really didn't know what to expect from it, not really caring much for the first Croods, but I thought it was a good film. Coming in at number 7 is Madagascar 3. Madagascar 3 is the weakest one for me for the Madagascar films, but I really do like the characters within here, from the penguins to Alex. I really like the series. It's one of my personal favorites. I know that the Madagascar movies are a little bit lower on people's list, just all the DreamWorks movies in general, but I really do like it. It's a little too over the top, a little too crazy at times, but it does remind me why I do love the characters so much. There's just so many things happening, a lot of funny moments being thrown at you. The Afro Circus song was just imprinted in my brain for so long. I just heard that song everywhere around the time that this movie was released. While I don't think Madagascar 3 has the strongest plot, there is a lot of entertaining moments to keep the movie flowing and really fun. Coming in at number 6 is Madagascar 2. Madagascar 2 seems like a tamer film compared to 1 and 3. It's much more of a personal story for Alex. Everybody's kind of got their own little story within here. Each one has enough development to make it seem like it's worth watching within the film. I do think that the strongest storyline in here is definitely through Alex. I think he's like the biggest character in the Madagascar series. But I like the different setting in here and how they're out of their element because they are used to being in New York and the zoo, and in the first film being in Madagascar was much different for them, but being in Africa, it's even completely different for them too. But they're learning a lot about themselves throughout the film. The animation's great once again. It's got a good soundtrack also. And what I love about the Madagascar movies is the characters, the things that they're getting themselves involved to, and then the penguins as well. I absolutely love the penguins, and we get a lot of them within this movie. Coming in at number 5 is Kung Fu Panda 2. It took me the longest time to really appreciate the Kung Fu Panda series. When I was a teenager, I worked at a daycare and we had the first 2 Kung Fu Panda movies on DVD, and we watched them so much to the point I just did not want to watch them anymore. I absolutely hated watching Kung Fu Panda at my work. But as the years went by and I kind of stopped watching it, and then the 3rd film came out, I kind of started to appreciate the Kung Fu Panda series. I think Jack Black as Po is really great. I think he is a fabulous voice actor, really adds a lot to this character. And one thing I really do appreciate about the Kung Fu Panda series in general and in the 2nd film is that it's willing to do something new each time, and it just doesn't feel like he's this ultimate master at the end of the 1st film. He still has to learn something new in the 2nd film and in the 3rd film as well. So everything is like challenging to Po and just not coming easy to him. It's really moving the story forward for Po and introducing new aspects to the character, new moves he has to learn, new elements, and I really like that. And the villain in here is pretty fun as well. And so the movie always stays fresh. It always has a great sense of humor. Coming in at number 4 is Kung Fu Panda 3. This is my favorite Kung Fu Panda movie because it definitely does feel more personal for Po with his father and his biological father as well. We do get a lot of that and how they both accept the fact that they have to take care of Po together. I thought that was such a nice story for an animated film, especially coming from DreamWorks, when they have these movies that just don't have these deeper storylines like B-Movie and Boss Baby. But you have this film that touches upon the fact that you may have a stepdad and a dad. And a lot of times they kind of argue and everything. But in this movie, they know that they have to take care of Po together and they want to work together to help Po. And I thought that's such a great story within this movie. And I love that it feels smaller and more personal for Po. And it's able to add a nice touch to the story and Po as a character. Coming in at number 3 is How to Train Your Dragon 2. I love the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. I think it's one of the better DreamWorks franchise other than Shrek and Madagascar and Kung Fu Panda. I think it is such a nice story. This movie came out, I think, 2014, I believe it was. But each one of these How to Train Your Dragon movies are really high on my list of all the DreamWorks movies. But the second one is such a good sequel. It feels much bigger than the first film. We still explore the world of the dragons. And I love how the dragons are united with the humans. And we get to explore a lot of those relationships. And each person has their own dragon. And it's just a nice touch to the movie. The animation still feels very bright. It's big. We got a lot of big dragons within this movie. And I love how Hiccup and Toothless are growing in their relationship. They're still trying to understand each other. The movie isn't trying to make the relationship perfect by any means. And even in the third film, they're not trying to make it perfect. But the world building and the dragons and the emotional moments within here, it's one of their stronger movies and one of the best sequels too. Coming in at number 2 is How to Train Your Dragon 3. I thought this film ended nicely. It really had a chance for each character, Toothless and Hiccup, to kind of grow individually. We know that they're going to separate by the end of the film, and we kind of see it coming. We welcome it too. But we have Toothless, who is meeting another Night Fury, and we have Hiccup, who's growing as well. Both of them understand their love for each other, and that they will always be there for each other, but they have to kind of enter new parts of their life. And I thought that was a nice approach to the film. And the villain in here is easily the best villain of the How to Train Your Dragon movies. It's got that emotional moment at the end and really makes you love these characters. The animation still looks really great. DreamWorks Animation, some of their movies aren't the best, but I will say that they have really good animation for every single one of their movies. And the moments are thrilling, they're epic, they're funny, they're emotional, they're sweet. It just has a lot of things working for the sequel. But my favorite sequel of the DreamWorks Animation movies is Shrek 2. I think Shrek 2 is so fun. I love the opening for the movie. I love the soundtrack. It's so fun. The new characters like the Fairy Godmother and Prince Charming and Puss in Boots, I thought they're so fun. And then we have Shrek, who becomes a human, and Donkey, who becomes a horse. That's something that, I never would see coming, but it was a nice part of the movie. And it really shows how much in love Shrek is with Fiona, even though he hates her parents and they don't want him around either, especially the dad. But we do get, and it's a realistic story with ogres. Like, this is something that actually happens with families. Like, they hate each other and they have to struggle to have this relationship, but at times it does come to where they appreciate each other, and they did that in a film with ogres. I thought it was so smart. Some of the jokes in here are the funniest in any of the Shrek films, especially the dinner sequence where they're all kind of yelling at each other, and Donkey yells his own name.
Harold! Shrek!
Fiona!
Mom! Harold!
Donkey!
And Puss in Boots is a fun character, and Fairy Godmother is a great villain. There's just a lot of fun, thrilling moments in here. It's a movie that always makes me laugh, but unfortunately, it's like the last time that I really loved a Shrek film, because 3 and 4 are so way down on this list, and Shrek is my favorite DreamWorks movie, and Shrek 2 is up there as well. So there you guys have it, all of the 11 DreamWorks sequels ranked worst to best. I did not include Puss in Boots, because that is a spin-off. And I also did not include Penguins of Madagascar, because that is a spin-off as well. Leave your list down below. How would you rank all of the 11 sequels from worst to best? Have you guys seen the new Croods film? What do you think about it? Are you guys excited to see it as well? Make sure to stick around for more up-and-coming videos. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.